And if you're down for more infotainment, information, and entertainment, like and subscribe in between the lines.
First off, we must speak about, as we continue to speak about, how Shedeur's been playing. So he finished the season, nevertheless, 2-0 by beating the great Aaron Rodgers, as well as finishing the season off with a game-winning drive against Joe Burrow. Joe, what's your thoughts on how Shedeur finished the season, and what does this mean? Is it momentum going into the offseason, being that his last drive was a game-winning drive?
I love the fact, Vaughn, that he has a resume now. He has film work. He's on film. He's on film that he can go back and he can self scout. He can look. He can be in the room with a quarterback's coach. He can be in the room with the offensive coordinator and go through every single play that he's been a part of his rookie year with the Cleveland Browns. Whether it's a handoff, whether it's a check at the line of scrimmage, interception, touchdown, incomplete pass. He wants to go. You want to go back and watch every single play. Actually, call the huddle. Watch the play diagram at the bottom to where you know what play, the play that is called, and you watch it. Now, Kevin Stefanski, he's not going to be in the building. It's probably going to be a different head coach, different philosophy, different offense that he has to learn. But Shedeur Sanders can learn. His aptitude is through the roof in terms of football knowledge. And you said it, a game-winning drive. You're down, or you have the ball last, and have a walk-off the way he did, or the way they did the Cleveland Browns. That's what I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Football, the record goes to the head coach, and the record goes to the quarterback in terms of keeping overall record, and he's won his last two games. Myles Garrett is the best player on that team. Myles Garrett got the sack record, rightfully so. He's probably the best player in the whole National Football League as far as being unstoppable. But Shedeur Sanders has to be pleased with how he ended his rookie season. And now the question is, who do you get in to coach the Cleveland Browns? And moreover, the bigger question is, does that guy have Shedeur Sanders on his mind as far as building a team around him?
Well, a few things that you said. Yes, Myles Garrett is the best player in the league. And the reason I say that is, if you think about it, how horrible Cleveland's offense has been all year. You know, for a defense end, most time they want to be playing with the lead so they can pin their ears back and sack the quarterback. He been playing from behind and still been pinning his ears back and finding ways to sack the quarterback, even though they've been losing. So it hasn't necessarily been pass first on the other end. And then even when they beat Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't able to get a sack. But as you can see, he was disrupting the game, and Aaron Rodgers was trying to get the ball out of his hands so quickly. And then if I told you that Shedeur, 5th round draft pick, was going to be Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow to finish the season, what would you say?
That's a great feat. That's something to be very, very proud of. But you're gonna have to compartmentalize it, Vaughn. You're gonna have to. This is where Shedeur Sanders is so polarizing. His name brings a decision because the naysayer is going to look at who did he beat. I mean, this late in the season, whoop-de-doo. His fans are going to say, yeah, he did beat those two with limited stats because he didn't put up glowing numbers in either game. He wasn't the reason why Cleveland won the last two games, but you can't discredit who said hut and who was the quarterback. We don't do it with any other quarterback. We don't separate the team from the quarterback or the defense from the quarterback. We don't say they won in spite of the quarterback. So we have to give him his credit, but they're going to need a team around him. Did he do enough? I would say he had done enough for Kevin Stefanski, but he's gone. How's the GM, Mr. Barry, going to think about Shedeur Sanders who he drafted? How's he going to think about Dylan Gabriel, who he drafted in the 3rd round? I tell you what I would do, Vaughn. I would go into next season with Deshaun Watson still on my roster because it's going to be hard to trade that contract. It's going to be Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson battling for the number one spot, and Dylan Gabriel still on the roster. So those are three quarterbacks I would have on my roster if I'm the Cleveland Browns going into next year.
Well, just to state, Shedeur should get some credit because without that game-winning drive to end, they wouldn't win by a game-winning field goal against Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Magic. Everybody's looking for Magic. What did he do so much that should
He's
be
not gonna have
clamoring?
those rookie the 360 yards surpassing offense like he did against Tennessee. But he did that in a losing effort. So would you rather have that?
No, because I told you, I'm trying to tell you time and time again. To me, is no more. You bringing it up, and rightfully so. It's good, but I'm not evaluating Shedeur Sanders with wins and losses. So even the ones where he threw for 300 and lost, the Raiders game where he won, it's about him individually for me. If he had lost those last two games against the Steelers and against the Bengals, I'm still saying so what, because it's not about when, because he's on a bad team. It's about how he's handling the huddle, how he's going about with his mechanics. Does he belong? And those are things I'm looking at, because if I hung my hat on wins and losses, then it's hard to evaluate him individually. And I think that's what the next coach is going to do with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. They're going to, despite the wins, they're going to play scenario type situation football. When they were in the game, how did they produce? How did they handle the huddle? And how did they make people better around them?
Well, I'll just say this. Shedeur's last drive this NFL season results in a game-winning field goal. That's it. That's all.